When we talk about sustainability, we often think about green energy, climate action, technology, or policy. But at the heart of it all lies one simple question. How do we live well as human beings? How do we care for each other? And how do we find healing and resilience in everyday life? Today, we are joined by Albert Wang, the director of St. Mary Health Farm in Taitung, to explore how human dignity and everyday well-being are at the core of sustainable life. Welcome to Sustainable Footprints, SDGs in Taiwan. Hi, Albert. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, I have heard that you actually has a farm and using the holistic approach includes people first,
Yes.
natural-based healing, and
Yes.
universal design.
Yes.
I'm so curious, can you share with us from your perspective, how does the healing related to sustainability and why is caring people an essential part of promoting sustainability?
Thank you for your question. It's a very good question. All right. Most of people hear the word healing. They often think of doctors, hospitals, big needles, nurse, something like this, right? But for me, healing, the meaning of that is more wider. It's something about taking care of people physically and mentally, right? So let me tell you my real story. Our hospital in 2009, there's a typhoon hit Taiwan, and so in East Taiwan, many families they lose their houses.
That's a really big disaster.
Very, very bad. The real damage comes from, it's not only about the building, it's something about their heart. So St. Mary Hospital, we start to ask ourselves, how can we help this kind of people stand up again, all right? It's nothing about giving medicine. We just try our best to give them the peace, give them the happiness. So that's why we start up a farm, all right? So it sounds strange, a hospital set up a farm, but it's related. Firstly, we plant the vegetables in organic way, and then we co-work with those people, collect the dry leaves, branches to make compost to provide the essentials to planting, you know. And then we open a restaurant using these local vegetables and the safe food from the neighbor farmers. All right, so that is the environment we build for those people.
It sounds very interesting, but
Yeah.
for me, is that anyone feel skeptical that you are making money from that?
Actually not, because this kind of activities are costly. But our focus is try to help the people. Maybe you were curious what the connection between sustainability and healing, right?
Right.
For me, it's quite simple. About sustainability, if we just are talking about the numbers, carbon, energy, something like this, it's too far from people.
Exactly.
It cannot touch the heart of the people.
Exactly.
Right? Right. So if we give the healing to the people who is necessary to take these kind of things, all right, they will feel safe, they will feel peace, and they will feel to be careful. And if people feel careful, they will care for the environment. They will care for the earth. So the sustainability become alive. That's our idea.
Yeah, that's quite a theory. But for me, it sounds like a social therapy.
Exactly.
Too. It also happened, as far as I know, it also happened in other countries like UK and Canada. Is there any place you would like to enlighten us?
Yes, before we open this farm, we're sourcing a lot of information from worldwide. So like Japan, like England, there are a lot of this kind of social therapy farm. So we are not alone, and we are not the first.
Sounds very interesting. I can't wait to join that.
So come to visit our farm.
So anyone can join that?
Yes, everyone can join that. It's open for everyone.
I'm quick clear what you just said about the caring for people is an essential part of promoting sustainability. Can you elaborate more?
Yes, forgive me, I just focus on food, right? But not only that, right? In our farm, the restaurant is the very first step. And then we build a special purpose gym, especially for the older adult. All of these machines in the gym are customized and AI based. So firstly, we check the old people's body condition, and the machine will provide a customized exercise plan for each of them. All right, so each of them can get the exercise just fit them best. So it's a very deep means of care. All right, so this is another part. And we have another lesson from 2009, that's a smell and touch also heal. So in our garden, we plant some local herb. Use this herb, we made nature oil and herbal teas. All right, so everybody come here, they can enjoy a cup of warm tea, or they can smell the nature oil and take a short massage, something like this.
Oh, massage, I like massage.
So you will get healing from this kind of means, right? So that's all the tools, all the means, all the ways we provide to care of people in our farm.
Wow, it sounds like very interesting farm for me.
All right.
Cannot wait for it to order to join that.
Welcome again. Okay.
Okay, so there's another term I'm not quite familiar with called universal design. I believe most of our audience or listeners probably are not familiar with that too. Could you explain what is the universal design for you and on your farm?
Universal design is a term most people will make it related to high technical. But for our farm, universal design is quite simple. It's something we provide to everyone and make everyone happy, flexible, and can enjoy everything. I think that's a true meaning of universal design. Yes. So I take it for example. So we have a very wide and flat road in our farm. So even the wheelchair, they can move smoothly. So you don't worry your trouble, your move, you know. So that's a very first thing. All right. And the second thing I can mention is that we find most of people, they love gardening, they love planting. But for old people, bending can hurt their knees, right?
Yeah.
So our solution is that we build a higher flower beds, all right? So they can sit or stand easily and do the painting. Take care of the plant, smell the flower, do something like this. So that's a core philosophy of universal design you mentioned. These are higher flower bed. And the other example is that in our gym I just mentioned, we create a game. It's a mix soccer and basketball game. It's a very easy and simple game. So everyone who can wave his arm, he can join.
So it sounds like not limited to the elder people or handicapped.
Almost everybody can join. And the other example is our bocce game. Bocce ball is a game normally played by the people with disability. All right, but in our farm we build a wooden floor ball court with very high standard, just using the same standard with the national player. All right, so it's a very good ball court. We welcome all of the people. All right, so all seniors, children, students, people with disability or without disability, they can join, pray together. So that's the environment we create for so-called universal design.
Yeah, it reminds me that I don't know you know about that in Finland. Yeah, it actually have some kids. I don't know what age is that. The kids and like live or work with the elders in nursing home.
Yes.
So do you know about the idea? Can you introduce to me? Because I only heard about a little bit.
You know, most of the idea about universal design is come from North Europe. So
okay.
Your example is very good. And in other countries, this kind of concept is growing. So everywhere we can see the very good examples about this kind of things. So again, in Japan, there are also a lot of the older adults, right? So they focus on this kind of concept and design similar service or similar place like us or like Finland just mentioned.
Now we talk about people first. You know, in nowadays, everyone like to talk about resilience, the term of resilience.
Right.
And for me, I'm the practitioner of the risk management.
Okay.
So in company, we like to talk about risk management.
Right.
But I believe the resilience also happens in the body, mind, and spirits in the power of sustainability. So how your farms help the people to rebuild their lives when they facing the anxiety and the sense of loss? Is that how you help them to build the resilience?
All right. This is a core. This is a most focused topics we focus on. All right. So you know, many people have the stress, right? So especially in Taitung, so the typhoon often, and some people they are facing too many news. Too many earthquake, something like this, and too many bills, you know, their life stress. For this kind of things, well, how we make them calm? I think we have several means, several ways to help them. The first thing is farming, just like we just mentioned, right?
Right.
And pet therapy and handcraft, and then I think prayer. No matter the religion, the prayer is also a power for the people to make them calm.
So is that, for example, I'm a Buddhist, is that okay for me to?
It's okay. The space open, that we have a lot of open space, and you can sit with others together and just enjoy the quiet moment and share food and even share a very short prayer with people. That will make them the spirits alive. So this kind of things are everywhere in our farm. All right. And apart from the farming, I just mentioned our pet therapy, right?
Right.
So we have a very famous coal duck. You know, coal ducks is a very cute and small-sized duck. They also, you know, walk around in our garden, and their sounds are very loud, like it's a very loud voices. And someone feel it's noisy, but someone feel it's funny.
It's a voice of nature.
It's a voice of nature, of course. And when you're watching them walking around in the garden, like watch a comedy show. And we even just have a waiting ceremony for them. So we have a very happy hour, just not only for the ducks, but also for the people in the park in our farm. So every senior people, every children come together, celebrate the moment, and they feel happiness and they feel safe. So that's another way we try to help people in your topic. And the other one is handcraft. Handcraft can connect your body and your mind. All right, so we provide a lot of materials. They can make the herbal teas by themselves. They can use some materials to make the eco products. They can use pen to create arts. Handcraft can help the people calm.
That's easy for them to calm them down and distract their stress.
Right. So when they use the paint to create art, they can forget their stress for a while, right? They can forget their pressure for a while. So that's a very good way to help people to find something important in their heartbeat. That's our approach. Okay. So we talk about prayer. We talk about the farming, the handcraft, even the paid therapy. That's all the things happen every day in our farm.
So that's the way you rebuild their lives.
Yes.
And increase their resilience.
Yes. And the result is very, very wonderful.
I have heard that there's a care farm in Netherlands is healing for the PTSD. Do you know anything about that? Is that similar to your farm?
Do you remember the purpose we built the farm at the very first time? It's to help the people to recover their mind from the typhoon damage, right? So it's a similar. In Taiwan, there's a place, the Sifang farm, or in Daguan village, there's another labor care cooperatives. They do the same thing, similar thing, I mean. All right. In short, just like I already mentioned, the farming helps people's mind. And handcraft or anything they do by their own hands help their body. Right. All right. And prayer or just sit quiet, they help the spirit. So physically and mentally, if a people can be taken care of, and they will be a complete person, right? So only the complete person can live in the sustainability ways. That's our concept, and not only ours, but also the two cases I just mentioned in Taiwan. Yeah. So we are not alone. So we always say sustainability is not the plan for 2050. We live here today in this kind of ways, right?
And it all connects back to our sustainability, physically and psychologically, right?
Right.
In our previous discussion, we talked a lot about the healing, the people first, and universal design. We have to back to our main subject here. How to connect all these action with the carbon reduction and climate action?
Well, climate action is the core topic about sustainability, of course. So I think the connection is very, very strong. The first thing is that in our restaurant, we use local material. So all the food, all the vegetables, all the rice are from our own land or from our neighbor farmers. That means transport to be short, right? Right. And the energy requirement is also less. So you can save energy, you can save earth. So it's a quite simple.
You have your own supply chain actually.
Yes, a local supply chain. So with a very short transport, so less carbon happen. And the other thing is that we also build a so-called community kitchen, all right, which provide the meals delivered to the old men who live alone. It's a very usually status in Taitung, okay? So we clone our philosophy and we share our value from our restaurant to the community kitchen. We hire the local people to serve the old people. So most of the workers are the neighbors, even the relatives of the old people. So they know them well. So they can take care of them deeply. And also, because of the materials come from local supplier. So again, the transport is short as well.
Yeah, reduce a lot of carbon.
Yes, that's the same logic. Yes. So this service become two-part result, all right? The first thing is that the old people, the elder people who need support, they can get a very deep, customized service from the local, from the community kitchen. All right.
As well as a nutrition.
Yes, as well as nutrition. The other hand is that we save carbon, so we save Earth. That's a very simple way. We make this kind of two concepts into one.
That's very good climate action.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it's not only happen in Taitung. As I know, there are several similar cases in Taiwan. Almost around the Taiwan Islands, we do the similar things to support people and to support the environment.
It sounds like a very holistic approach. Is there any plan you're in partnership with the Taitung and Hualien community to move closer to the net zero?
Yes, the lower carbon, so we can get closer to net zero, right? So things happen right now. We're trying our best to get the relationships with several farms in Taitung and in Hualien.
Right.
All right. The first thing is that we share our value, share our experience with others. That's the first thing. And then we encourage every farm, every ideal restaurant, they can use local material first. And then, a lot of youth in Taitung and Hualien, they leave their home to find their jobs in Taipei City or Kaohsiung City, right? But we invite them come back, all right? Come back to do the organic farming. And the other thing is that we also have a vocationary training center. So we train them. Part of the youth, they come back, and we train them to do the green jobs. All right, so they can open the green restaurant and use local materials, and they can take care of their parents and grandparents locally. So that's a win-win situation, a win-win approach. I mean, for me, it's quite simple. So we share the value with others, and we education them. We connect youth, and then we can build a community, a very big community among Taitung and Hualien to do the similar thing, and then we can go toward to net zero goal. That's what we are doing.
But I would like to ask one more very ambitious way. Is that possible push beyond the Taitung and Hualien neighborhood?
I think we do things step by step. All right. So our first thing, we spray our idea, spray our experience, share with the friends or the people we can connect with. That's the first step. Right. And then I think this kind of idea can be spread not only by ourselves, but also by others. They have the real practice.
The reason I ask it because I think it's because I live in Taipei. I hope someday your way can be applied for to all over the island.
So far, I do not have the idea about how to make this kind of approach happen in Taipei City because it's quite different environment.
Geography.
Yes, yeah. But welcome to Taitung. Enjoy our results. Share with us.
Certainly. Before we wrap up, I would like to ask, what's the important message you want to deliver to our audiences or listeners during the process of healing and sustainability?
Just think of these pictures in our gardens. In one corner, there are a lot of people, perhaps the three generation family. They enjoy the board game, just like what I mentioned earlier. It's a half soccer, half baseball games. Nobody takes score, but everybody left, right? So it's a happiness picture. In another corner, we can see some friends share herbal tea. So we do everything to make people calm. So we can say healing is not just about medicine. So I just would like to invite people to remember sustainability or net zero is not about machine or number. It's about people, about food, about land, and healthy. if this kind of concept can be promoted, anything we do about sustainability and net zero will become more real. That's a message I want to do.
Thank you, Albert, for your sharing today. It's quite an experience. Net zero is a commitment to the future. Healing is our response to the past. Sustainability is every single choice we make in present day. This is Pai Pei-hua. I'm your host. Thank you for tuning in today. I see you next time.